such a dump.
What's new, Mike?
I know. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever the case may be, wherever you are in this bright, wonderful world. It is kind of dark in here, isn't it? It is the Aloha Hour, just a skosh late. And tonight we are celebrating our good friend, John MALIN, for reaching the illustrious 6th figure in his Indiegogo campaign. John MALIN.
Hashtag six figures young lady.
Hashtag 6 figures young lady. That's right.
Mike, I'm echoing through your mic, I think.
Are you echoing? Yeah. Well, are you still? Because sometimes that just happens.
No, actually, I think it sounds good now.
Okay, good. Good. Let us see. Let me grab. Oh, just someone stole my iPad. This is my life. This is my life. This is my life.
Messy Mike.
Messy Mike, messy room, stolen iPads. So I have to pop out of chat from here, which is going to slow things down. But whatever.
Wait, what's this about stolen iPads?
Oh, one of the kids stole my iPad. So that's usually where I read my chats.
Oh.
So, yes, MALIN has beaten me handily. He was just a nose ahead, and now he's across the finish line, and I am crying in the corner.
Yeah, well,
but I'm proud of you, John.
Well, thank you, Mike. Yeah, I did a lot of interviews and for the Comicscape Presents, and I'm sure that helped. New faces coming in, and my project was definitely brought up from time to time, and I think that kept the interest going for newer people.
Kept the juices flowing.
Yeah, and then I closed it out on Twitter up to the 100,000 mark by I kept giving updates, and I kept posting pictures of scantily clad women in GIFs. So everyone could appreciate their physiques and their intelligence. I'm so smart today. Exactly. That's pretty much what it was. And
I'm wearing the same shirt I had on last night.
Yeah. I got here.
Yes, the new meme is "Eat the butter, Nasser."
What's with the butter Nasser thing?
Okay, so today on my earlier stream, I was with Eric Nienoltowski, and he was about 30-something away from 300 subs, and he had this little soul patch. So I was like, all right, if we can get you up to 300 subs, you got to shave that soul patch. And so we got him up. We actually got him up over, like by the time it was over, I think he was like 310 or something. So we got a good number of subs. But then Nasser was at 918 or something like that. And we're like, okay. And we had enough people in the room. So I'm like, if we can get you up to 1,000 subs, you have to eat a stick of butter. And then we got it. He was just so disgusted by that we kind of backed it off until we said, he just has to take a bite out of the stick of butter, and he wouldn't do it. He refused. I'm like, you kidding me? You wouldn't, take like 85 subs to take one bite out of a stick of butter, and he would not do it. And so I'm like, okay, everybody unsub from. So his sub count went down to like 870, something like that.
Good. Not even gonna follow through.
And it's just, I was just checking, it's still down at like 880. So he's like lost 35 subs or something like that.
Good, he deserves it. You tell people you're gonna eat some butter, eat the butter.
Well, he said he wouldn't eat it. He's like so disgusted by the idea of eating one bite of butter. I'm like, man.
Oh, he never agreed to it then?
Yeah.
Oh well, poor Nasser. He'll be all right. He'll get whatever sub count he's looking for eventually.
Yeah, someday. Well, I don't think he realizes that you have to have like 4,000 hours. Is that right? 4,000 hours?
Yeah, viewing hours, I think. Yeah.
Hours.
For to get super chats to qualify
Yeah.
for that, and well, monetization. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is it? Yeah, 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, and the kid's only got like 6 videos on his stream, on his channel. So
oh, well, he's doing really well for 6 videos.
Oh, you mean the sub count?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Only having 6 videos.
Crazy,
He's
right?
got 800 people. Yeah.
Yeah, he has all those people subbing to him because he's always on our shows.
Yeah. Well, if he pushed a little harder, he could get more. He could do well for himself. But yeah, I was on his stream tonight, and I think somebody mentioned something about butter, but I didn't know what the heck they were talking about.
Yes, he must eat the butter.
Yeah.
Must eat the butter. 6 figures, young lady. Yes, yes. For those who have just popped in, John Malin has crushed my hopes and dreams by reaching 6 figures before me.
I made it there first, but Mike is going to be coming along anytime now.
I can only hope. I actually got. I actually sent out emails to all the retailers today. I got a retailer email list from a friend, so I sent out like, I think it was like 1,600 emails.
Cool. And are they all domestic?
Yeah, those are American retailers.
Okay, cool. How many American comic shops are there?
Probably just shy of 2,000.
Oh, so you got the bulk of them. Awesome.
Yeah. And then you have to keep in mind some stores like have like multiple stores in one email. So. But
so yeah, you pretty much got them all.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if that makes a difference. I mean, if I can get a handful of them to order that bulk $250, order, that'd be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it's not just if they can just sell it in their store. I mean, it's the collectability of them all. So, I mean, these are relatively small print runs, and I mean, what's going on with the Comicsgate community? I feel a little, I don't know, I don't want to sound bloated or anything, but it's kind of historic for what's going on in comics and for the indie scene. This is definitely something that's going to be ticked as a moment in time for, what's gone down with independence. Just like when Image was forming an independent company that grew out of these superhero mainstream. That's a lasting impression in the industry. And I don't know where Comicsgate ends up in 5 years, whatnot. But at least for this moment in time, this is really interesting time, and so I mean the collectability of the books, you may not sell them in your store. I don't know. I mean, no idea. I don't know what people's audiences are, but you get them online. You make that money back because I mean these print runs, when they're, I mean, Jawbreakers is the biggest backers, so I mean that's looking at bare minimum of about 10,000, and campaigns like mine, yours, I mean you're actually probably looking at a bigger print run than me because of your support the troops tier, which is a great tier. I backed it, everyone, $80.
I'm one support the tier purchase away from going over 2,500 to the troops.
Nice.
Yeah. Stardust. I heard something today about Stardust being on eBay. It's on eBay for $50.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know if anybody's gonna buy it for that, but let's see. What was the other one? The the other one that Rich did.
Wait. Ironsights.
Ironsights.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if anybody put that up.
But yeah, you gotta give these about a year, really see where they settle in at. Right now, they're rolling in. I mean, people are putting them up. I mean, more power to them, I guess. But
well, I mean, you can't get it anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ironsights is completely shut down for sure.
Yeah, and sometimes these comics will just go freaking explode like the week after they come out. So it's ridiculous. All right, all I get is Iron Man and actual iron sights for rifles.
Yeah, but congrats to Nasser for, I believe is he the first comic skate to be completely fulfilled?
Yeah. And Ironsights will be next.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, congrats to Nasser for getting his books out, and
props to that, man. He even sent me a copy.
That's the beginning of a good reputation for comic skaters.
He sent me this so that I could critique it for him.
Oh, did he?
I don't know how long it's been on.
What a guy! What a guy!
What a guy!
What was this? Did you critique something on Brutus? What was going on with that?
Yeah, he wanted a critique. So Nasser sent me the PDF, or not the PDF, but the Dropbox of a bunch of his pages. And while Donald was on there, I went through it and I gave him a couple of pointers. So
cool. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
much like you gave me the pointers.
That's correct. I have a hard time. Like you draw more like I do. When someone draws like that, like cartoony and stylistically and whatnot, I have a hard time giving them critique on style, because that style is a choice. Mm-hmm. He's doing these really chunky inks that are not, I'm anal retentive when I ink, so I don't want to get to the point where I'm saying, well, I would do it this way, because he's not trying to draw like me at all. He's got this real Keith Giffen, Jamie Hewlett kind of a thing going on, and so I'm just like I'm looking at his basic structure and whatnot. And he's got really a pretty strong sense of basic structure, so it was hard for me to find things to critique that weren't, style based.
So what did you focus on, composition or?
No, because I like his storytelling too. I think his storytelling is pretty strong. So I focused on design. Like he does when he does like stuff on black clothing, he'll do highlights, and his design sense is very lazy. He'll just put globs of white whereas I'm like, from a design standpoint, whatever you draw, like each individual shape that you draw, the shape itself should be an interesting shape, right? So it's not like a glop. It should be like each shape is designed so that it's interesting, so that every individual part is interesting, so that it makes the whole more interesting. And he understood what I meant by that point. And then like I pointed out that there's this one page where there's this, a car takes up like a third of the page because it's like right up in your face, and I'm like, dude, that's some freaking detail.
Oh, it was right up in your face.
Car right up in your grill, and it's like you didn't even put rivets on it, or like blinkers or anything. Just some basic stuff. So no, I'm not using OBS right now. I'm just using my camera. I think most people. What is going on with this computer?
Mortal V in there trolling me, saying the only pointers John Malin needs is from a shredder.
Hey, I'm the only one who gets to rip on John. You guys keep out of it.
Oh no, everyone gets their turn. So that's the way it is. Yeah, I have a select group of people that follow me just to bring me down, and I appreciate them. People like Mortal V.
Yeah, it's fun.
And, yeah, it wasn't Mortal V that was trying to set up the Comics Gate convention. Was that him?
Was it whom?
Mortal V.
Mortal V.
Was that the one that was trying to set up that comics convention?
I met him in New York. He came by the booth and we hung out for a while.
Okay, because the price just went up, Mortal V.
Gary Shipman was live a couple hours ago. I know.
Oh, what was Gary doing?
I don't know. I wasn't watching. I was watching Nasser's stream, and then I had to go write. I'm scripting and dialoguing the LONESTAR pages. So, and boy, it is. I'll tell you what. I'm so concerned about making sure this is like really freaking good. It's taking me forever to script it.
Yeah. Well, the other day you were talking about adding in panels or moving panels, or how you were finding other story elements that you kind of wanted to try to get in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to do that.
Yeah, I bet. So, yeah, I mean, but Photoshop's your friend. If you find a panel that you want to stuff in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But I understand the need. I mean, that's kind of my thing too. Is like when I think about original art, it's like I don't want to Photoshop too much because I want the I want the page to be intact. But what I found out more often than not for me was if I drew on regular paper, by the time I would scan it in, I'd start noodling around on something, and then I'd be embarrassed to show anybody the actual page because now I knew all the mistakes.
Yeah, I have, but boy, it is still so much better than the way they used to do it, which was like I remember I had some JLA pages and I drew like Superman's head a little bit too big. So they would do it in art corrections. They'd scan it, they'd copy it, they'd shrink down his head, and then they'd freaking paste that onto the original artwork. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I think I've seen some old pages where they'd have like some kind of discoloration just because of the two different types of paper or whatever.
Or the wax that they use to stick on there, and that discolors the paper too. Granted, like when you're looking at pages that are like 50 years old and you see all that stuff, it just gives it character. But as an artist, you're just like, ah!
Right. Yeah. Yep. You see a change,
Nasser's Smelly Stick of Butter says, why would they do that? And I do love your name.
Well, that's definitely not Nasser.
No, that's not Nasser. Just Nasser's Smelly Stick of Butter. They did it because that's back in the day before Photoshop was took over the industry. That's all they could do. They had to shoot final film from the original art, so they had to alter the original art to a solid black and white image that they could shoot film from. Because what they used to have to do is they would shoot a different screen, different film for each individual color. So that's why it was CMYK. So the black layer was the inks and the letters, and then the magenta, the yellow, and the cyan were these separate layers that they use. I mean, they still print it the same now, but it's all done digitally when they break down the screens now. So
yeah, it's a big confusing process that I never understood. So thank God I missed the majority of that. I remember some of those films when I was working at Image. I think they're just old ones laying around. But yeah, it was just a weird process. I never figured it out, and I'm glad.
You know what I tried to create a market for. Do you remember? Did you ever get any make readies?
What do you mean, like proofs?
Yeah, the stapled proofs.
Yeah, I mean, they'd send proofs through.
They were untrimmed and unstapled. Did you ever get those?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well, what they used to send artists make readies, which were, like I just said, it's the comic itself, like fresh from the printer, and it's folded, but it's not stapled and it's not trimmed. So it's got all the little the
color codes
on the top and the bottom of every single page. And this was like back in the beginning of eBay. And I would get those and I was like, these are literally the rarest comics of every single print run, because they only do like a handful of make readies. They give them to editors, they give them to artists. So there's probably 6 to 10 of each comic book that has ever been made. There would be these make readies, and most of them just get thrown in the trash. So I was like, this should be the freaking collector's market right here. This thing, imagine having, but so I started trying to sell them on eBay to try to get them, but eBay wasn't that big of a thing back then.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, yeah, it is the rarest form of book. So do they still do those, or how do they hand them out as proofs now? Are they stapled? Is that the only real difference, or what?
I'm gonna guess that the editors still get them, but I haven't gotten one from a publisher in a long time.
Okay. Yep. No, that's definitely interesting. So what happened with Edwin? You guys break up or what?
Edwin's been like on a really weird work schedule, and then he just like freaking passes out. So he's always emailing me like the next day, and he's like, "Oh, sorry."
That's what they always say right before they break your heart.
I know he's breaking my heart, David.
It's not you. It's not you. It's this work schedule they got me on. All I do is work.
Watch this. Watch this, John. I'm gonna get this name right. David de Bergerac says, "Sorry if you already answered. Where are both of you on your projects?" He knows already, and he's just sticking the knife in and turning it. So why don't you go ahead and tell him?
Well, Graveyard Shift is done. The book has been drawn for a few years now. It's been colored, and we've just raised $100,000 financially. So we're complete success. And the expected ship date is, I think, February of 2019. But I'm going to work really hard to get this delivered by Christmas. But if I fall a little late, then it's still going to be early. So, I think it's going to be a very successful campaign.
And Lone Star, Heart of the Hero, issue 1 is completely illustrated. I've got about more than half the colors in, but he has to do some corrections. So I'm waiting on the colors. I am dialoguing it now, and then just letters, colors, printer, then you guys get it. So
sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you reminded me. Yeah, and today we were wrapping up the final lettering as well for Graveyard Shift. So that was the final pass, and now we're pretty much ready. So I'm gonna be talking to some printers and getting stuff going on Monday.
Oh, I've already got a printer line of it.
Are they in the States?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me know. Send me some info, man.
Well, the thing is, I'm doing it under the banner of a publisher that I know.
Okay.
So that I can get their discount.
Okay, that's fine.
So I can't really bring everybody with me. I would if I could.
That's fine. No, because people keep telling me there's like some local deals that are, I guess, somewhat comparative to Print Ninja, and I'm like, well, if I can shave off 4 more weeks, I can deliver even earlier. But yeah, if there's no clear cut.
Yeah, mine should take about 2 weeks once I get them into the printer's hands. So rub it in. Gosh, man, I really need to get this next Indiegogo started probably before I even ship. So,
and that's Godsword, or
Nuclear Family,
Nuclear Family,
Lone Star 2, and Six Gun Samurai. David de Bergerac for another $5. And this is what happens when you say names right. For another $5, Mike is the first one not to stumble over my name. LOL. I'm getting paid for pronouncing it.
De Bergerac. De Bergerac. Yeah.
No. De Bergerac.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows me. They know I give it one good shot, and then I just rename people. Like Primarch Smith.
Dave the Deberjack. Oh yeah, speaking of, while I was on John's stream earlier, I got, actually let me pull these out so I'm not stumbling over and bumbling over something else that I don't want to show. Color temp file. Nuclear Family, page 3 and 4. Colors just came in. And I'm going to quick look these. I'm going to press this button over here. Up, drag. Come on, stupid. Open with preview. I don't want to open them with preview. I want to go like that so I can go up. I'm going to go up. Nope. Up and down. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen. Why is it Google Hangouts is sometimes really not intuitive? And so here we go, ladies and gents. Nuclear Family, page 3. This is actually supposed to be Flesh right here, so I'm going to have him fix that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah, they colored the collarbone down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, who's the name of this artist?
This is Vincenzo Sansone.
Jeez, never getting that one right.
Vincenzo Sansone. So yeah, this is the same colorist that Art T. Bear is using. And so there's page 4. So gosh, yes, I'm very excited to get more of this done. And there's Garbage Person. Garbage Human.
Yeah. Hey, what happened to her clothes, Mike? This is family hour.
Oh, that is a very good point. It's that looks like something that's going to have to be fixed. I think he doesn't realize that that's the same woman.
Right.
But yeah, there we go. The father popping out a clone.
Yeah.
Son using his EM powers. So yeah, it was fun trying to create a quick little four-page vignette where all of them get to use their power, you know?
Yeah, and the little girl manipulates mass, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
She's a full-on powerhouse. She might be one of the most powerful characters in my universe, actually.
Nice.
So there
yeah,
is.
I'm trying to find out who can take on Graveyard Shift. She might be it. So far, not many contenders, except for actually Ben Jones's Asgard. Their power levels, I believe, are like way up there. So they could probably imprison Graveyard Shift more than anything.
Well, I have a couple characters in my universe, Superhero G, and you know what? Never mind. I like to keep a lot of this stuff close to the vest, so
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been telling people about pitched, and I'm like, look, you guys should have so much cool stuff involved with your book that you don't mind giving away other cool stuff to get people hooked, and no one wants to get anybody hooked. Like, no, man, hook me. Tell me some cool stuff.
My book will hook them. So let's see. What? No comments on the art? I like characters with size difference. Movies don't do it often. Honey, I Blew Up the Kids was cool. Her special ability is making her clothes invisible.
Hey, yeah, yeah. They should fix that previous page to match, and I think that.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So what do you guys think? Nobody's commenting on the art. Well, I guess they don't like it. They don't like the colors. They hate it.
Oh, they like it. They like it. And yeah, and you know, that area that'll be filled up with word balloons. You know, it all goes into the composition. Sometimes, you know, naked art can look a little bare, but you know, once everything's all put together, man, it, you know, rock and roll. Just like Otley, you know, like his stuff, you know, from panel to panel, it can be a little bit, you know, looks a little empty, but you throw in some word balloons, and then all of a sudden it's all banging. So, yeah. You know, that's a really clean style.
Do you know Ryan?
Otley? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not like close personal friends or anything, but you know, acquaintances. Yeah. Known him. Yeah.
I saw him in New York. I've known that guy since Pencil Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in like Digital Webbing Presents #1. I think he was in like 2 or 3, so I knew him since then.
Yeah, do you remember Ted Noodleman, Bicycle Delivery Boy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was in Digital Webbing.
I published that.
Oh, okay. Oh, what, you published that after Digital Webbing?
Yeah, as Alias.
Oh, okay.
Digital Webbing, it was just a webcomic.
No, it was an anthology. It was printed.
Oh, was it? No, we published it as a trade, and it took flipping forever because he was doing this backup story, and I believe he was working on Invincible at the time, so it was taking him just forever to get this backup story done.
Yeah, I love the style when he was doing the Ted Noodleman stuff, and you know, when he went on Invincible. I mean, it's fine. I understand it. You know, he had to fit in with Corey Walker, I think is his name.
Yeah,
you know, which was much more a stripped down style. But I mean, it worked out for Ryan great because he could, I'm sure, could just burn right through those pages, especially when they got real epic.
Yeah, you know. Back in those days, back we were doing the Alias days, Ryan was signing at our booth, and I was talking to him because I talked to I talked to this editor over at Dark Horse when I lived up in Portland, and he was talking to me about Usagi Yojimbo and about the royalties that Stan Sakai gets, because he's like, you know, Usagi only sells 4,000 copies a month, right? Like Savage Dragon numbers now, and which is like, you know, it doesn't make any money, but month after month after month, Stan is putting out this book, and the trades, while the trades don't sell gangbusters, they sell annually between 2,000 to 3,000 copies each, right? So average that 2,500 copies each on $20 books that he gets 50% of the profit on. And back then he had like 20 of them, right? Now I think he's over 30, possibly 40 trades, making 2,500 bucks. I mean, 2,500 times 20 bucks, well, divided by whatever the royalty is. So he make, you know, as a creator for Dark Horse, he makes 50%. But Ryan got a way sweeter deal on Invincible for the royalties. And so back then I told him this story about Stan Sakai, and I'm like, I don't care if they offer you Spider-Man at $500 a page, because back then he was only making about $2,000 an issue, because that's how low Invincible was selling. I'm like, I don't care if they offer you $500 a page to do Spider-Man. Never leave Invincible. And I was talking to him about it in New York. He's like, yeah, I remember you telling me that. And then like not too long, a few years ago, I saw that Invincible number 100 was, I think, an $8 book that sold 40,000 copies.
Yeah.
And he gets sweetest royalty deal I've ever heard for an artist. So, yeah, Ryan did pretty well for himself.
Well, I mean, he was on that book consistent for, God, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know, what, 15 years?
Something like that.
God, that sounds stupid, doesn't it?
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's probably doing pretty well for himself. Good for him.
Yeah.
And now he's took your advice, threw it aside, cast it to the wind, and now he's on Spider-Man.
Yep. Well, he said he was tired of it.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. How long can you be on one book that's not? Well, I was just about to say that's not yours, but then he just went to another book that's not his. So, yeah. But I mean, I'm sure he's got a bucket list.
Yeah, you want to scratch that itch. Spider-Man was never on my list because I don't want to draw New York as a background in every panel for 24 pages a month. Dex Luther for Canadian $5. John got 6 figures first, but Mike gets free breadsticks from his Applebee's. Who's the real winner?
It's true.
I haven't been to Applebee's in so long. I was just thinking about that the other day. It's good food.
Yeah.
David,
I go to Chili's all the time.
Yeah, Chili's is good.
Yeah, their fajitas, like they're consistently good at Chili's. And
dude, the cheese sticks at Chili's are the bomb. David de Bergerac for another $2. Is Nuclear Family part of your Indiegogo? It will be part of my next Indiegogo. My next Indiegogo is going to be Nuclear Family number 1, Lone Star, Soul of the Soldier, and then Six Gun Samurai. So I'm going to have 3 books on one Indiegogo. It's going to be like a little store. So you guys can order what you want. You order all 3, shipping, becomes negligible. And that's the biggest complaint I hear about all of this is the shipping. So if I can bundle 3 books together, make the shipping, spread the shipping out across 3 books, it'll really mitigate that complaint. So
will you have a tier that has those all bundled together, or how does that?
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of tiers. It's gonna be a big old sloppy mess, but I'm gonna do it for the boys and girls. Liam for $5 Australian. The incredible power of Dessa's right arm could defeat the Graveyard Shift easily, but I think they'd kill her before since they're faster and super. I was supposed to have Liam on, but I don't want to go that late. Should I send Liam a link? He was on.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Liam, let me grab the link. John, entertain the troops while I try to figure this out.
All right. Nasser's Smelly Stick of Butter says Applebee's is greater than Fridays. I can't remember the last time I was at a Fridays. Comic Book Bob. Oh, Comic Book Bob is one of your moderators? This guy has been giving me so much static, and he was on Nasser's stream. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why I made him a moderator.
Yeah. Now it all the pieces are coming together. Yeah. Mike's been sending his saboteurs after me, not wanting me to promote Graveyard Shift. Oh my gosh. Yes. So now I'm just gonna pop open Graveyard Shift. Let's see how it's doing, everybody. Yep. 100,239. Yeah, I think it's gonna be sitting there for a while.
Are you doing any paid advertising?
No, because then I won't be able to get media mail if I have any advertising.
No. I mean, are you paying for any advertising on Instagram or Facebook?
No. I'm way too cheap. Nope, just my sparkling personality and maybe a dash of talent in there, and yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm not spending any extra money. Oh, I know. I remember you recommending something about that. Like you could, pay to have advertisement pop up in front of like a DC online deal or something like that.
Yeah, for the YouTube stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you can target advertising, but all my YouTube advertising goes back to my YouTube channel to try to build my subscription base.
Mm-hmm.
But my Facebook advertising I have go directly to my Indiegogo.
Yeah, no, I don't mess with any of that stuff. So I wanted it all. I just wanted to see what all I could do with what all I got and know what's real, what's not. So
is Richard pimping you?
I don't. Yeah, I think he's mentioned me on his thing.
That explains it.
I don't think he's put out the update to the Jawbreakers backers. So if he did that, there's a real possibility I could pull in, 500 more backers, maybe more. So, but that's all right.
I see how it is.
DJ D Show says it was the Sparkles, John Malin. The nachos and tacos helped though. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Liam, check your Facebook.
Comic Book Bob says we will crush the Malin militia. Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have to. The Malin militia is obviously quite an inept group. They come to my stream and vote for me. I mean, I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Malin militia.
Mm-hmm. That's our rope and dope technique.
Heavy on the dope.
Yeah, we want you to feel comfortable in your position, and when we're ready to strike, we'll strike.
Boy, you get all dressed up for Nasser's freaking stream, and you come here with those sleeves.
Sorry.
I
didn't know I was going to be coming on, and then I didn't want to say no. I literally just threw on this so I could eat pizza and chill out, and then I was like, I can't say no. I wanted to come on.
That's fantastic. So sorry. You didn't even brush your hair.
Jeez, I know.
What are you doing?
I'm so sorry. I've been on my feet for I think 14 hours at this point. So I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Mike. I just keep screwing up everything. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, Liam.
Doing well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
If you're going to compare yourself to anything, Liam, just compare the nice backdrop that you have compared to Mike's messy room. And
he's got a bunch of kids and a successful life behind him. I just have failure in the form of comic books.
Well, Mike's mess is his room. Your mess is just temporary. His is always going to be there.
This is true.
Yeah, I'm wealthy beyond belief in family.
I think it's incredible. I wish that they didn't tell us in Australia to put off having kids. I wish I was smarter and had kids younger. So yeah, no, but I just to sort of clarify the thing with Dessa's arm so that I'm not just swinging my metaphorical manhood around. Her right arm possesses within it the ability to harness the full potential of the human soul and weaponize it. And I would like to save exactly what that does for the first time you see it in the book, because it's a big reveal. But I think that it would be able to deal with the graveyard shift.
Probably wow, you totally just spoiled your book, dude.
No, there's more. That's good. It's good. But that's what I've been afraid of. That's what I've been afraid of, man. But people are just saying, don't worry about the spoilers too much. Give people a bit more. So that's what I want to try and do.
That's right. Tell us the cool shit. Or the cool stuff.
Well,
sorry, Mike.
Yeah, well, this is the stuff I want to sort of go into. But she's just one. They outnumber her, right? And without that, she's really just sort of an Indiana Jones style character. You know what I mean? So they'd easily just probably speed blitz her and break her neck before she could do anything. But, I like to be realistic. I don't want to say oh, my character's going to win everywhere. But, but like I said the other week before, I reckon Flint could probably give your graveyard shift a go when that comes out. We'll see how it goes, because He's
I'm still looking for a contender.
Yeah, he's on the level of like Thor and Hulk, but you know, in a cool way. So he could probably handle them. He regenerates like mad, and fights like Conan. So, but
yeah, well, you know, at the end of the day, the graveyard shift does have their ship, and that can do some damage by itself.
Yeah, I would bet. Tell us about that.
We'll have to see. I mean, that kind of power level of Thor or whatever type deal. I mean, that's kind of high up there, and that could probably whatever, give them a run for their money.
Probably. That's what I'm thinking. I think that, again, they would win. See, the advantage that the graveyard shift has, the reason they keep coming out on the top in the matchups for the sort of Comicscape versus, is because you've got numbers, solid regeneration, and a sort of rather moderate to high, like Spider-Man-ish level power scale. So it means that, like, it's kind of like trying to fight 6 or 7 members of the Fantastic Four. Like, we'd probably find that the nuclear family would probably be a good matchup in a way, because of the father's ability to multiply himself. If his duplicates die, Mike, like if he like sends off a version of himself, like if he just shoots his anger over there and then they kill his anger, the rest of him's still alive, right?
Yep.
Yeah, see, that's going to be a problem for them. Like, because there's a lot of the mind that you can choose to fracture off if you want to. You've got to be creative. But oh gosh, I didn't come on to turn this into a versus fight. I'm sorry. It was just a fun topic.
Now I just want to turn Graveyard Shift into villains so they can go through the Comicscape universe and just start hunting everyone down.
Yeah, doing the do one of those spin-offs, kind of like Deadpool kills the Marvel universe.
You guys watch One Punch Man?
Yes.
Yeah. John?
Yeah, I've seen it before. Yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah, that's what you just described. That's why I love it. I don't know if you're familiar enough with anime and manga and stuff or Japanese culture, but he's basically going through all the different tropes of it. Would be like if we created One Punch Man in America and you had a Superman trope and you had a Batman trope and you had a Greatest American Hero trope. Ooh. And you had all these versions of these characters, and that's what he's doing in One Punch Man. If you're familiar with it, it's not just these random
all the villains are all kind of the okay.
Not even just the villains, the heroes too. Like that one guy on the bicycle, he's dressed up like Kamen Rider, which is this famous Japanese motorcycle hero from the 70s.
Do you guys know the origin of the guy that created One Punch Man? Like, do you know the story behind that anime? Or that manga?
You mean Anpan-man?
Yeah.
Yeah, Anpan-man's been around forever. Anpan-man he's a little cartoon character. Anpan is like pancakes. So there's this brand of Japanese like treats, and it's called Anpan. So the little cartoon is Anpan-man, and he's got a couple of other little super heroes.
But the mangaka, right? The mangaka. Let me tell the origin of the manga. This is really inspiring, right? We've all seen that picture of One Punch Man that looks really terrible where he's saying okay, right? Like he's just saying okay, and it's just that little head. That's the guy's actual drawing. See, what happened was he sucks as an artist. He sucks. But he really wanted to be a mangaka. He really wanted to. So he worked in this little like grocery store for ages until he could save up enough money to take 1 year off to achieve his dream of becoming a comic book writer. Okay? And so he took the year off and he poured his heart and soul into One Punch Man, right? And it was god awful, but it was funny and good to read, even though it was drawn a little bit better than Charlie Brown, and he's trying to pitch as like a superhero manga. And then it was out. He's like, okay, I did my year. I didn't make it. I failed. I need to now go back and work in a grocery store the rest of my life. Thanks for all the support I've had online for this webcomic. You guys are great. I had fun. Thank you. Thanks for letting me try. Then this famous, I forget his name. I probably couldn't pronounce it right anyway, but this famous mangaka guy, right? This actual guy that was already established was like, I'm like a massive One Punch Man fan. Like, I will do it all for you. Write for me, and I will do it all. And he's like, really? He's like, okay. So they teamed up, and then they had like the best-selling anime of a manga and anime of like
Nice.
2018. It was like a comic skate story, but before we were around, you know. And so this guy went from losing his dreams to being able to achieve them, and us getting this great fun trope, you know. And it's just a great, good, feel-good story. So
it is. I love One Punch Man. And I love
it's fun.
I didn't know that was pretty interesting.
Fun.
So basically, what you're saying is, outside the one punch, I should just go ahead and do this and kill the Comicsgate universe.
I say do it as a what if annual. Everyone loves those old what if books. Do it. I don't care. Kill my characters. It'll be fun. So long as it's the alternate universe, who cares? Like, you know, what if they were evil? There you go. What if the Graveyard Shift were evil? Have it like 100-page annual.
They're not evil. They're the good guys.
So you're gonna make? But what's the reason that you kill everyone?
That darn Lone Star keeps poking his nose into the undead's business. Yeah. So whatever. The Graveyard Shift is probably answering an SOS
from werewolves.
From your bad guys.
No, it's interesting. I mean, that's the thing about the freedom that we have. Like, we're not Marvel or DC. So if you can just talk to everyone, I think that everyone would be cool so long as it was understood. It was like not like canon or it fitted within their universe in some capacity.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem with, like, you give the example of Image, right? When when they were all together and they were all happy-go-lucky and, hey, let's everybody trade our characters, it was great. But then you get to the point where, Rob and Eric or Rob and Jim or whoever, people start fractioning and pissing each other off, Mark and Rob, and, and then you're like, well, geez, I have these books that I'd love to reprint and keep making money off of, but it's got somebody else's characters in them, and they won't give me the permission,
Yeah, I understand. That's the thing that happened with the Max. Like with the Max, there's actually like they couldn't, when they made it the MTV series, they couldn't use Pit. So there's a whole issue of the Max that they couldn't convert into the sort of motion comic Max episode. And there's another episode that they did convert over that has like a shark guy in it that I believe belongs to Rob. And they can't release that on the DVD. So if you get yourself like the Max on DVD, there's a whole episode missing because of rights issues. So it is something that does need to be considered, but it's just a shame. It's like, I'd like to think we could.
That's you know what? That's why when I wanted to start the Blacklist Universe, this was a couple of years ago. I was like, I'm willing to divest my personal own. Like, create the business that owns the characters, and I divest myself of ownership for the sake of the company itself, because I want a company that 50, 100 years in the future is still going, regardless of whether or not, I had any, well, not had anything, but because my plan is to take on Marvel and DC in the long term. And you can't do that by going in it with this Image attitude of, mine, me, work for your, work for you. I get it, because I come from that world, and I lived through the whole Image revolution and all that stuff too. But that's the reason that none of these other upstart companies have ever been able to get to a position where they can take on Marvel and DC as a universe, because they're all so fractured, fractious, fracked up.
I think we could probably look to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like life. Oh, there's echo. Sorry. Because they've had like a million crossovers with a million different universes, including Power Rangers and everything, and they were like an independent publisher that sort of came through. So I don't know why or how that worked and what went different with Image, but I mean, they've got huge crossover potential and exposure and everything. And if we had a franchise like that in Comicsgate of that level of popularity, we could really make a lot of social change, I think. But you've just got to be that next big thing that kids latch onto, you know, because that's what people are going to go after. Like the kids are going to be kids decide what's cool, not us.
Yeah. Well, I want to create a company where I find a middle ground between this, like I said, me, mine mentality of creatorship, of intellectual property ownership, and what Marvel and DC are doing. Something that does benefit creators more, but at the same time maintains the company's own autonomy over the course of the characters. So like if someone else eventually comes in and has another character they want to bring in, they want to bring their best stuff because it's part of a greater whole, right? Like if I could create awesome characters and take them to Marvel and not just get some tiny little sliver, but get, you know, a decent chunk, and you're slapping it onto this rocket ship that is creating the greatest movies of a generation, you know, there's give and take there. And again, that whole mindset just doesn't, it's great for like, you're going to put all your eggs in this one basket and hope that someday, you know, somebody makes a cartoon or a video game out of your comic. That's great.
Yeah.
But there's just so much more that can be done. And, you know, as a corporation, essentially.
All I want is that I can kill Lone Star.
My goal, just so that it's clear, I've got like 200 people watching. I've said it on another stream, but there's people here that wouldn't know. My goal, I want to be able to get to a point where I have enough of a company going that I can create the books that I want to be able to create, tell the stories I want to be able to create. I want to be able to, like, I know that it's a weird dream, but I want to be able to be earning enough money that I can pay rates that are to my team that are competitive with Marvel, and I can afford to give them healthcare. If I can get that much, if I can get to a point where I can provide that kind of system and create those kind of stories, I'll be happy, because I think that level of security is something that artists, myself, I'm sure you guys know as well, you don't have that kind of security all the time. And like, I think that if it was more stable a job path for people to sort of come into, instead of people thinking like, oh, art is a failure, like it could be something that could be great, and we could actually really like talk to people through our art and really create something great. That's what I would like to work towards, you know. That's my dream.
I've got bigger goals.
Oh yeah, but you're a legend that has like what 20 years of experience, man. Like that's awesome that you want to do all this stuff. I can't even get more than 15 people to buy my book on the first day, man. I just want to make enough so that I can make sure I don't hurt my art team, you know, by putting their faith in me. That's all I want.
Right. Why don't you pitch your book, man?
Okay, well, let me just give me one moment, because I keep screwing up the pitch. So I would like to just quickly make sure that I can just read it off so I don't stumble all over myself like a clown. Okay, here we go. All right. So I've got, what if one day you woke up only to discover that everything you knew was a lie? After a terrible accident, a postal worker assigned to Port Lockroy in Antarctica is frozen alive, only to be awakened later by a desperate scientist. She's lost, she's stranded, and she must now rely on her wits and every tool at her disposal to survive against mankind's most ancient adversary. In the first story, in the first issue, in Rain, in an effort to maintain some semblance of a normal life, Dessa Christian has surrendered her freedom to work as a courier for the notorious God King Coda, a ruthless crime lord that reigns unopposed from Titan City. However, while returning from the waste, she is captured by a marauding gang of mutants, pushing her to the absolute limit. Can she survive, or has her luck finally run out? Friendships will be tested, and the terrifying secret of her right arm finally revealed. For a little bit more, so you guys just have a little bit more of a taste, we're looking at a story that blends elements of Ridley Scott's Prometheus with Kamandi the Last Boy on Earth. And it is a story ultimately that is about discovering who you're going to be in what initially appears to be a post-apocalyptic hellscape. It's full of monsters and madness and mind-bending art from Joseph White that is just, I'm in love with it. I think it's incredible. I don't want to say too much more, as we established, because
spoilers.
Spoilers. But there's a story here with a solid beginning, a middle, and end. I've got charted out for 3 epics, but if it doesn't make that much, the first book will be enough to tell a great story. There's great characters. We'll be uploading some concept art for the characters soon. There'll be more letters up there soon. I just had Joseph tied to the table for 30 hours. So he slept and is now catching up on his routine. But we'll have more up soon. And I really believe in this, guys. I do. You know, I know you guys don't know me, but this is going to be full of action and adventure and challenging ideas and compelling characters. All the stuff that's missing from modern comics, you know. I put my heart into this, and I think that you're going to like it. You just
very important question from the chat, Liam. Yeah, you are a ginger. Do you have a soul?
Yeah. Well, you know, they say that superhero books are about what you sort of aspire to be like, and what you like, the things that you wish that you could be. And so I'm just going to say that Dessa's whole superpower is she has a soul in a world where nothing else does. So just imagine longing to be that. but seriously, there you go.
All right, everybody, go check it out. Comic Book Bob put the link in the chat. Indiegogo projects /sway. Otherwise, just go look it up on Indiegogo. Check it out. Some pretty solid art. Sounds like a really cool story. Get a look at it. If you like it and you've got a few spare ducats, then by all means do help Liam to fulfill his life goal of finding a soul.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, that's not right.
Oh yeah, no, don't tell him that. Make me all naked and vulnerable. But yeah, no, seriously, guys, thank you. And to the people that have already contributed, to the guys that have gotten in there early, you guys, I've seen you been sharing the stuff on social media, and I really thank you all. I know I'm not a great marketing person, you know, but I'm going to do right by this, and I'm a good writer. I know I am. The people that have looked at it have loved it, and I appreciate the support you guys have had so far. I won't let you down.
Liam, have you contacted me on Twitter?
I have a couple of times, but okay. I'm guessing that it's sitting in your outbox.
Outbox?
I also sent you a message on Facebook.
Does Twitter have an outbox?
I don't know. I just know
you're probably not going to get a hold of me on Facebook. I'm on Twitter.
Yeah, well, I sent you a message on Twitter, and it just says sent, and you haven't looked at it. I sent it to you a while ago, a couple of times.
Are you in my DMs?
Maybe, but I tweeted at you today as well a couple of times. I'm determined _pro, just so you know. That's me.
Well, I just don't have hair in that picture. John doesn't really know how to read that well, so that might be the confusion.
Yeah. Wait, what'd you say your name is on Twitter?
Determined _pro.
Determined _pro. Oh, okay. Determined protector.
That's me. That's okay. What my name Liam means. Liam means.
That's why do people always have different names? Like mine's John Malin and Malin. Like what? Okay, all right. Yeah, I see you in here.
Sorry,
All right.
man. I'm sorry, man. I've been trying to reach you because I was hoping I could come on and promote, and chill, because someone's got to do it. It's not going to sell itself.
Well, John will have you on.
All right, yeah, you can come on my show, dude. Since you're in my DMs already, just give me a date and time Eastern, American Eastern. Last time I settled with someone from overseas, they got it all wrong. So New York time.
You tell me when it is convenient for you, and my sleeping schedule and time will shift to suit whatever you need.
Yeah, he'll probably put a
I
suit
will eat the butter. I will eat the butter. Okay, guys?
No,
I'll
you
shave
don't
the
need to eat
eyebrows
butter.
and I will eat the butter. I will be there whenever you want me to be there. Okay?
Yeah, I definitely will not require that.
Okay.
But yeah, so you guys are 12 hours behind us, or is that how that works?
No, I think I'm in your future. I think
What time is it right now?
Right now it's 6:06 p.m. on Sunday.
6:06 p.m. Whoa. What time you normally go to bed at?
Son, you are 18 hours ahead of me, which means you're 21 hours. No, wait, that can't be right. 6:06 p.m. Yeah, it's 18 hours ahead of me.
Yeah, probably about right.
21 hours ahead of John.
From the future.
Wow.
I'll send you the link.
How was the new Doctor Who episode?
Oh, man.
Liam, we're going to go Wednesday at about 6 p.m. my time, so Eastern.
Yes, sir. I will be there. I will be happy to be there. I'll be there with bells on, my friend. And to everyone in the chat, I'm just seeing this now. Thank you, you guys. Thank you for the stuff you're saying. It's great. You just rip the hell out of the fact I have no soul. It's okay. It doesn't make me feel dead inside.
There's a lot of ocean between Mike and Liam. Yeah, that's a lot of ocean.
Yeah, 6 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday. I'm going to put parentheses, American Wednesday. There you go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, John. I really appreciate it.
So whatever that works out for you.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there early. Don't you worry.
All right, there you go. So we're scheduled Wednesday, 6
Yes,
p.m. American Wednesday.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, and everyone else. Hold on, let me look up where this is exactly. On Monday, I will be on the Order of the Green Hand on YouTube. It's a Game of Thrones channel. They've got 45,000 subs, so it should be pretty cool. They're going to be interviewing me, and then I'll probably try to hook them in to come in on to the Night's Watch. Mm-hmm. So
you probably need Team Joffrey there to represent.
Monday, 7 o'clock Eastern, so 4 o'clock my time.
That's awesome. I was wondering when you'd start doing the Game of Thrones circuit, man, because you're like Game of Thrones celebrity, and there's a big community of fan theorists and stuff like that on the internet, which is basically just this big pile of fans waiting for you to just reach in and shovel them into your
gathering them together is dude, I've got probably 100,000 Injustice fans out there too. It's getting them from out there to here that is the challenge. So
man, I know
trying.
I've been trying to get people to go to my Indiegogo page, and it's hard to even get people to just click the link and look at what's there. So imagine trying to do that on a scale of hundreds of thousands of people. You don't realize how hard it is until you try and fail at it.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just be like, all of my fans will show up when I start something. It's like, no, it's like most people, they're fans because they walk into the comic book shop once a month or whatever. They're not tracking you on Facebook.
We're pretty involved in the community and everything like that. But there are a lot of consumers that really just pick up a book once a month.
Yeah.
You don't think about it too much because we're heavily entrenched in the nerd world. But there's degrees. Nerddom is a spectrum, and and I'm gonna stop before I get myself in trouble. But yeah, so
that's good. That's a good indication that you do have a soul. Just so you know. Yeah, there's 184 people watching, only 88 likes. That is 104 people not doing their jobs. Wait, did I do the math right on that? No, that's not right. I did the math wrong on that, but there's still a lot of people not doing their jobs.
Yeah, my math brain ends at about 1 a.m. So I tried to figure out Eastern and Pacific time with Art. I think it was last night on Cecil's stream, and I totally butchered it.
3 hours, man.
I know. Yeah, I know. I had it all dyslexic, though. I told him, I said, look, I'm too tired to figure this out, because he's like, yeah, I do Kiss Corner at, I think he said 10 a.m. And I'm like, 10? I'm like, I think that's like 7 a.m. my time. And he's like, yeah? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm going to have to think about this tomorrow. I got to go to bed. So, and then he messaged me the next day, and he's like, hey, man, it's 1 o'clock p.m. your time. I'm like, yeah, I know. I figured it out.
You guys are funny. Well, anyways, it is 12:11 a.m. here. I got church in the morning. So, John, are you gonna go continue your celebration on your?
No, I can't. I'm whooped. Thank you to everyone that backed Graveyard Shift. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and congratulations, John. Congratulations. I wanted to be able to say it in person. I mean that. I think that the more of us that get to 100,000, the better it is. It makes all of us look great. And I do think that Graveyard Shift is going to be a good book. I'm not just kissing your butt. I think you've got a really solid idea. I think it works. I think that people are going to like it. And like I said in the stream earlier today, I think that your team is cooler than the X-Men. I think that if they were in a school environment, your guys would be the cool kids. You know?
Yeah. So, well, they definitely kill them. And then they're definitely the coolest by default. So
in the sea of blood, it is the high school superhero war. But I'm gonna just shut up and say goodbye and thank everyone. Again, seriously, thank all you guys for just taking the time.
All right, shout your book out one more time.
Yeah, Sway, just Sway Rain. Which not like the water, like Rain Evil Rule. And that's on Indiegogo. You're the last soul on Earth, and all that is left is your fear. Come check it out. Let me entertain you. So, thank you.
All right, Liam. And John, my heartfelt, begrudging.
I know.
Congratulations, man! I'm super stoked for you. Let me drop the facade for a second. I am super stoked for you. I'm glad you made it to 100,000. That is just such a phenomenal, accomplishment. We're changing the world, brother. We're changing the world.
Very exciting, and thank you very much, Mike. I do appreciate it. And thanks, Liam, as well. I do appreciate it.
Go back up. Your book's terrible.
Yeah, that's the fun.
Guys, help Mike get to 100K. That's what's next.
Yep, he's $5,000 from it. So 100,000 for LONESTAR.
You'll get there before I'm funded, my friend. It'll be great.
Well, thanks for everyone for being here. This has been the Aloha Hour. We bid you all a fond aloha and adieu. And I'm not going to be here on Sunday. Sunday is the Lord's Day. So John will have to entertain you for me. So everyone follow John all day long tomorrow.
Yay.
Everyone be the best you can be, and God bless.
Good night, everyone.